Scary Mary.
We're too far to turn back.
Oh my god.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we'll recap a 2019 American horror film named Mary. Before we start, it is a request to please like and comment on the video as it will help us to grow our reach. At the beginning of the movie, we are told that in Puritan times, there was a known witch who was taken into the sea and drowned in dark night, and it's told that her children were whisked far away. She shall rise one cold day to take your kids. Next, we see a girl named Sarah who is found drifting on the wreckage of a sailing boat and rescued by the Coast Guard. Sarah and her 2 daughters are taken into police custody. There she is interrogated by Detective Clarkson. Sarah asks her about her children, to which Clarkson tells her that they are all right. Then Clarkson asks her what happened that day. Sarah tells her that evil needs a body to live in, and in their case, that body was that boat. Sarah claims she will not believe what happened on board the boat. Clarkson asks to hear anyway, and Sarah tells her what occurred. Now the movie shifts to 4 months ago when the Coast Guard found an old abandoned sailboat, and that boat was named Mary. Merlin and his team investigate by going inside the boat, where they hear a sound from a cabin, and upon opening it, something comes out from inside and attacks them. Sarah's husband David was a tourist ferry helmsman. He goes to the boatyard with his friend Mike, where a boat was going to be auctioned. There David sees Mary, who he likes very much, and impulsively buys it. He then invites Sarah and his daughters Lindsay and Mary to show the boat there. Now Sarah was not very happy with his decision, but David says that he wanted to buy a boat of his because he does not want to spend his whole life working. He says that he will make it a family cruise, to which Sarah says that it will take a lot of money to fix it. Later David apologizes to her and says that he should have asked her once earlier, but he can't explain why he was not able to leave it when he saw it. Finally, Sarah agrees, which makes David very happy. The next day the family restores the ship with David's friend Mike and Lindsay's boyfriend Tommy. Then they break the wine bottle and inauguration the ship, and when they are partying at night, David says that tomorrow morning they will all go to Bermuda from the ship. David's old boss Jay tries to stop him from going there and says that it is not safe to go to Bermuda. He says that this ship also looks haunted because even there is no idea of its previous owners, where they disappeared in the middle of the sea. But David does not listen to him, and later when they are taking family photos in front of the ship, Tommy sees a bright flash of light emanating from the boat. Tommy gets a little scared seeing it, but he ignores it. Then in the night when Sarah is putting Mary to sleep, she hears something from outside, and when she looks back, she sees Mary's forged body there, but it was just a dream and it was morning. Then they all set sail for Bermuda and starts enjoying themselves a lot. Then after some time, Lindsay comes to ask Sarah for dinner, and here she asks him if what Jay said is true. To which Sarah says that Jay was drunk that day. There is nothing like that. After this, Sarah goes to check on Mary, and she sees that her entire room was filled with her drawings. Here she finds a strange drawing in which a strange woman was made. Later, in the night, David sees a woman in his dream, due to which he wakes up in fear. He notices that the ship is drifting, so he goes upstairs to check, where he sees Tommy standing. He asks him why he raised the anchor, to which he replies that she wants them to keep going. Then when Tommy turns around, they see that he has non-fatally stabbed himself with a knife. Suddenly he starts attacking David too, but David saves himself. David has Tommy confined to a mental institution on the Abaco Islands, and he and Sarah resolve to keep this a secret from the others, which strains Sarah and David's relationship with Lindsay. Back to the present, Clarkson asks Sarah if she and Mike were close, to which she denies, saying that Mike was like David's younger brother. But Clarkson could not believe her words, and she says that they will continue after a break, and if she wants to see her daughters again, she has to tell her something that makes sense. Then Clarkson leaves and Sarah starts staring at the camera. Back on the ship, Sarah sees a child passing behind her who she thinks is Mary. Behind her, she walks to a cabin where she sees wet footprints which were going toward a small closet. When Mary checks there, someone pushes her inside and closes the door. Sarah sees a woman as she lights the matches, and suddenly David opens the door. She goes with him to check on the children, and David tells her that they have been sleeping for the last 1 hour, and that what she saw must be a dream. The next morning Sarah is setting up the internet device at the pole when Mary asks Lindsay about the mark on her neck. Lindsay tells her not to do this and starts texting Tommy when someone again touches her neck. She thinks she is Mary, but no one was around her. After this, David tells Sarah that the mental institution has told him that Tommy hanged himself last night, and both of them get very sad due to this news. Then later, when they are all sitting together, Mary says that they forgot dinner for the lady. To which Lindsay tells them that she has an imaginary friend and she talks to her all night. Then suddenly Mary smashes a glass on Lindsay's face, which they all are surprised to see. Later, David scolds Mary and finds a drawing of a hangman in her room. Now in the night, Sarah feels that someone is trying to open the door of their room, due to which she gets very scared. Then she goes to the washroom where the lights start flickering and someone tries to open the bathroom door. When she comes out, she sees the footprints of someone there, following which she comes up on the deck. There someone calls her name and attacks her, but Mike comes there and saves her. Now Sarah gets scared by this accident and she tells David that something is wrong here and maybe they should just turn back. But David says that they are too far to turn back even if they want to. Sarah says that the ship is cursed, but David gets angry on hearing this and leaves after shouting at her. Next, we see Sarah walk into the children's room when she hears some noise from behind, and when she looks back, Mary has disappeared. Then suddenly she is attacked and she wakes up from sleep and starts screaming. David tries to calm her down and then Mary comes there and shows her broken tooth and says that the lady helped her to pull it out. Later, Sarah asks David if he is also having dreams, to which he does not answer and says that by tomorrow morning they will reach Hamilton. Sarah and David separately research the history of the boat and discover that its previous owners had disappeared on similar trips, and all sailed to the same destination. It is implied the boat is possessed by the spirit of a witch who is attempting to replace her children after being drowned. Now their ship had entered Bermuda, so David orders Mike to change course. Then he goes downstairs to Sarah, who shows him the evidence and says that Jay was right. They should not have come here because that witch kills everyone and now will kill them too. David says that he took this ship for the future of all of them and he wanted them to spend good family time, and both of them start arguing again. Clarkson asks her that if all this is true, then why didn't you guys come back from there or get off that ship? To which Sarah tells that the witch was not allowing them to do this. Back to the ship, David tells Sarah that their ship is also going exactly where the previous owner's ship went. Only then does Lindsay come over and tell them that there is something wrong with Mary. They see that Mary is completely cold and David tells Mike to call in a mayday. When he doesn't get an answer, he goes upstairs and discovers the sails have been destroyed. Suddenly Mike attacks David, but Sarah comes over to help him. David knocks him unconscious and traps him inside one of the cabins. The next day they discover that Mike has destroyed the sails, drained the ship of gas, and thrown the satellite phone overboard. David then goes to talk to Mike, where Mike tells him that now he and everything he loves belongs to the witch now. David asks him to stay cool, on which Mike says that he must obey her. He asks him to open the door and tell him to drown them. Then David is loading his flare gun when he hears a sound and he comes over to check, where he sees someone's shadow in the water. Behind him, someone opens the door to Mike's cabin. Here someone wakes up Lindsay and she sees that he is Tommy. She starts following him and comes to the top deck, where she sees Tommy standing in a corner. Tommy tells her to commit suicide and she is about to do so, but David sees her and goes there and catches her. Then Sarah also comes there and both of them start taking her down, but then Mike comes there and attacks David, after which he goes after Sarah. Sarah awakens tied up and watches as Mike tosses David overboard. Mike does the same to Sarah, but she frees herself and is able to climb back on board. She attacks Mike, but he gains the upper hand. David, still alive, appears and shoots Mike with a harpoon gun. Mike falls overboard, and Sarah goes downstairs to look for Lindsay and Mary. Meanwhile, she also picks up David's flare gun, and only then does she hear her daughter's voice from a cabin. She takes them out of there and sends them overboard in life jackets while David steers the boat. Before Sarah can leave, David is killed by the witch, who attacks Sarah. Sarah fires a flare gun at the witch and causes the boat to explode. Sarah tells Clarkson that she was thrown from the boat, after which she tried to find the girls, but she was too weak. She almost had her, but she destroyed her, and now she will never get those girls. Then she says that she wants to see her daughters now. Detective Clarkson concludes Sarah is a murderer and delusional and has her escorted away by a police officer. Clarkson intends to make sure Sarah never gets custody of her daughters. As she checks footage of the interrogation, Clarkson discovers video distortions, and that Sarah is possessed by a witch. Clarkson hears a noise from the room where Sarah had been taken and discovers the officer who escorted her dead and Sarah gone, having escaped through the window. The final shot reveals that the police station in the middle of a torrential storm, much like the one that had surrounded the boat. Please do like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon never to miss new video updates. Thanks for watching.